Hello everyone, this is Samiversal, and in this video I will be showing you how to beat Over Again by PAHC. For more context, Over Again is a unique GD level in the form of an ARG, and for those that do not know what ARGs are, they are puzzles that tend to break the boundaries of traditional puzzles, having to search across different media to find clues in order to advance to the next one. As you can already see, I've beaten this level before in 31 seconds, however this will take you much longer if you're trying to solve this on your own. I will put a warning that this is a well-crafted ARG and I highly recommend that you try to solve this on your own beforehand. If you ever get stuck, this video is made for that. The rest of this video will contain major spoilers for the ARG, so only look at this if you're completely lost or if you just don't care. And without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing we do is launch the level, and the first thing we're greeted with is this, which is a code, in which we don't really know what the code is. It could be anything, honestly. And then if you try to input the code too many times, the level will tell you, okay, this is kind of going nowhere. Try more original line of thought, maybe. Maybe there's more information outside the level. Maybe check the description. And this is our first clue. So if we get out of the level and then we check the description, you can see, the first thing we can see is, do you feel like chasing the sunlight? Do you feel like chasing sunlight? What does this mean? Well, if you actually check, the creator also said if you were trying to check something more original, which is, this level is actually a copy of another one. And if you click the original, you actually find Chasing Sunlight by PAHC, which is another level. So after we found Chasing Sunlight, now the first thing we need to do is just play it. And we're greeted with a level that is interesting, I guess. Doesn't really have anything too special. It's just a level that, I guess, blinks randomly-ish. But what could this mean? After a while, you'll reach the end of the level, and then nothing? Nothing happens? So, have we done this for nothing? Well, not really, since there is one thing we haven't checked. And there was a little weird thing near the beginning of the level. If you've noticed correctly, there actually was a little hole. And this is where we need to go. So, the first thing we need to do is just jump into this hole, and then the music glitches out. And then we die. And then what happens after is the level is weird. The music is all weird. So, is anything different? Well, we have to continue the level to find out. Once we reach the end of the level, well, we're greeted with this. A code. 5938. And this is our next clue. So if we go back to Over Again by PAHC, now we have a code that we can enter. So if we enter the brand new code we got, with being 5938, if we enter it, something actually happens. We get sent to this weird thing, and then someone talks to us. Hello, this is PAHC. Hope you're having fun. Here's an old level I worked on, and it's called OSQ, and you can actually play it, actually. It was made to satire length in media, specifically GD platformers. Then I finished Go You and realized it's silly, and I dropped it. It was going to gradually overwhelm you with mechanics, as an anthropomorphized version of the level tried to keep you in. Speaking of which, OSQ is not quite close to done. It's not even play tested. I'm sure LDM doesn't properly work. But I can't be bothered, so here's a debug mode. You're really only going to see the first few loops. But then it was going to end like this. Honestly, I don't know what I was when I made it like this. I guess I thought it felt interesting? To symbolize how forcing something to stay in your life can lead to really harmful results. But the concept isn't really that functional, so no real clue. Regardless, this is just about what OSQ has to offer. Maybe see if you can do anything else in the process? Maybe there's a way to access some features you normally can't? And this is the end of the level. You can't move anymore. You're stuck. So what do we do in this case? Well, one of the lines that was said was actually really important. He said that, well, he wasn't sure if everything was working, especially the LDM. And this is our next clue. So if we actually quit the level and instead enable low detail mode and play the level again, well, at first glance, nothing's different. But if we input the code again, this is where things are gonna start being more interesting. We input the code as the first time, and then it seems the same, but this time I actually can't get out of the room. So something is not the same. And if you've had good eyes, you would have noticed there is actually something on the wall. And that is actually where we need to go. We need to get out of here. And then, well, there's invisible walls here and there. So you need to get out of there. And eventually you'll find a path. Get out of the place. And then we are progressing. Then, no more mechanics. And then, oh, I see you got yourself in a situation. Now, I'm sorry to inform you, but this isn't the end. There's still quite a ways to go, but I can help you make some more progress. Please head directly to 47, 47, 98, 31. Now, this is our next clue. A pretty simple one this time. As you should know as a GD player, this number isn't random, it is a level ID. And this is the next step we need to take, is to go directly to this ID. Now, the next thing we need to do is to input this ID we just got, which is 47, 47, 98, 31, which leads us to Refraction Preview. Let's see what this has to offer. Nice oh, I'm really bad at the game. Yeah. There you go. And then, what happens? Okay. Okay, so now that I have you here, how's your day? Are you doing alright? Sorry if I'm kind of getting on your nerves, but unfortunately, I want to add a narrative to this. You know, so I can feel better about leading you on. Get some substance going or something. In any case, this is the first thing I ever created. I decided to get into the creating, I guess. Had a few friends who told me so. Think I ended up giving up on this because it just didn't work out great. It looked too messy. And also, losing my data didn't help matter. I would have probably given up by then. But I hadn't made some sort of rivalry with, a one-sided rivalry. Well, it kind of kept me going. So after a bit, I released my first level, Sepia, on December 27th of 2018, and joined Gyro right after. And it was kind of missed that time. But speaking of Sepia, it kind of has a few secret ways. Who knows? There might be a surprise hidden in one. And then the level ends, I guess. So what do we do next? Well, if we paid attention to what was said once again, the next clue is to go see the level named Sepia by PAHC. Going to PAHC's account, you can actually see that he has a lot of levels, and one of the ones he has is Sepia, being his very first one. If you go play it, he talked that the level was not really well made and had a lot of secret ways. And this is how it comes into play, well, level's not the best, it can break pretty easily. Like, it's not the best. And that's actually kind of what you need to do in the ARG, is you actually need to try to break the level. Find something that doesn't go well with the level. And as it turns out, well, like I said, the level is not perfectly well made. Some things are not right, like this thing. And then, hey, remember that thing about Gyre? Have you tried inputting its creation date in the level? As in, the date in 2018 it was announced. Announcement is on Optical's YouTube channel. And then we die. So, that is our next clue, is actually to go see the creation date of Gyre. Our next step is to go check what we have been told to do, which is to check on Optical's channel to search for the very specific thing, being Gyre's creation date. So if we go on Optical's channel, which you should be able to find pretty easily, and then you check in the videos, one of them should be about, there we go, Gyre, a new Discord server concept. And then this is a video announcement, not really what matters, but if you go check, here is a date, December 31st, 2018. So this is our next clue. And as you can understand, we need to input that somehow in the code. Next up, we need to go back to over again and input our brand new code. So, as we saw in the code in the YouTube video, we saw that the new code should be the December 31st. So if we try to input 12/31, it actually won't work because, as the thing will know, have you tried thinking internationally? Because, you know, December 31st, yeah, sure, but in different languages, it can be different, the format. So therefore, the code is actually not 12/31, but 31/12. And then, this happens. Oh. Okay, so we're doing this again. What an interesting plot development. I know I built this like this, but I probably should have had ideas, you know, before building. And, well, I guess I'll just throw you some spikes to jump over to keep you interested. Okay, that did not work. Oh, right, I'm stupid because I'm my mouse doesn't click. But yeah, as you've probably already noticed, we're familiar with this level. But this time, there's spikes. And yeah, it's just a level, you know, you just play it and, you know, try to beat it. And it's actually not that easy of a thing. It's actually decently challenging. That was close. You're doing it. And okay, there you go. You did it. Good job. Were those spikes meaningful to you? Hopefully. If not, take a better look. Maybe you can decipher them outside of GD. But yeah, that's the whole level. You can replay it if you want to. But still, good job. You beat Chasing Sunlight again. And that's it? Yeah. There's not much else to do after this. Right? Well, those spike patterns were not completely random. And here is where we need to understand that, like I said, those spike patterns, actually, they do mean something. And it's pretty easy to understand. Simple spikes, quad spikes, they're pretty long, right? And this is where you realize that those are not actual, they're actually a message being Morse code. And, well, yeah, this is actually Morse code. So if you go online and try to figure out the whole message, it will actually, if you try to decipher it, you will find out that this actually means something, all those spikes. So I will show you a little bit what the whole thing looks like once deciphered. After realizing that the whole series of spikes was Morse code, we can actually get a sequence. The sequence that I've now shown on screen actually can be translated into Morse code, giving us the code 2019 by Abstort. And that is the next clue where we need to go. Once we go to Abstort's account, we'll notice he has a few levels that are on his account. One of them being called 2019, which is exactly what the Morse code told us. If we go try to play it, we'll notice it's just a little simple level. You know, just a little thank you for a bunch of names that were important to them, which is completely nice and all. And then, yeah, just a little simple level. And then we reach the end, and then, have you missed anything? And then this is where you realize, you know, we may have missed something? There was one platform in the level that was actually kind of weird, and you may have not noticed it at the first glance. And this is a platform that you actually need to touch. One that you didn't think. This one. And then we get greeted with this message, which I will show on screen for much longer than you think. And this one actually, well, it gives us a code to try, being 4512. What will we do with this code? Well, let's go input it. After this, we need to go yet again back to over again, and then input this code that we just got, with being 4512, and then nothing? How so? Well, if you paid attention to what the message was said, it said that, well, it came with a circle and a number 2. The circle indicates that the code must be inputted 5 times. So we should do that. We've inputted it 5 times. It still hasn't worked? Well, there also was a number 2 after the code. And that means you need to input it 5 times plus the number. So that being 5 plus 2 equals 7. So if we put it 2 more times, something actually happens. And then we get greeted with this cutscene. A waiter arrives at your table, asks you for your order. Dad orders a bagel for himself and a BLT for you, as you asked. And then, very weird text. You always told me that my marks don't define who I am. He stops talking and stares at the table. You watch 2 droplets of water as they race down a nearby window. You sit silently. You don't really know what to do next. A waiter arrives at your table and asks for your order. Dad orders a bagel for himself and a BLT for you, as you asked. And now you may have noticed that this is actually a loop that doesn't end. So what do we do? Well, there's a little moment where it asks you to tap to redirect. And that's just what you need to do. Just tap, you get up and leave the cafe. Then we end up here. And then, wait, you weren't supposed to be here. How did you break the sequence, the strange conversation? Can't believe you did that. Like, I'm sorry, but that was just meant a lot to me. And you just stepped all over it. You suck. I just tried to show a clip I had with Abstorт. I wasn't even going to do an entire conference. Okay, whatever. You're so frustrating. I'm sure you were like, why is this enchanting table stuff too? Like, I know you. You know that level's gonna suck ass. Anyway, here's the hub. Each day, each door will get you part of the code, whatever. Then just type it, wow. Like, I don't know what I've been making anything for you. Just go and refuse to interact with anything. I just feel like you aren't giving my old stuff a chance, and that stings a bit. Whatever, here's a code to return. Here, have fun. I don't care. Go ahead, choose a path. So now, this new code, 7179 circle 6. What does it mean? Well, as it said, we can try it actually. If we try to go back in the level and try the code we just got, well, not much is actually going to happen. So now it's a 7, a 1, 7, and 9. It needs to be inputted 11 times. And then, well, we just get back to where we were, so nothing really has changed. Next part actually needs to get another code. how do we get said code is we need to explore the hub and go to each of the 4 parts, each of them meaning something different. So this is the first one, trial of persistence. Go to level on my account with this decoration down the first jump. Only then, I wasn't able to read all of it. I will put it on screen for the time being. But what needs to be done is we need to go to the level that has this very similar decoration. Luckily for you, I already know which one it is, so I will spare you trying to look for it. So the level we needed to look for is Cosmic by PAHC, which, if we look at the message that is now appearing on screen, you will see that it asks us to die to the first jump a lot. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just going to die. And die. And continue. It will take some time, but eventually something will happen. Oh, there you go. Learn about half circles. Half circle before your code. Oh, that's interesting. And then this piece of information is really important. And it tells us about half circles, how they work. We also need to put 8150 at the end of your code. So now that we've understood this, it means there's a pretty big code actually going on. It's more complicated than we thought. Alright, so we are back in the hub, so let's go to another one. So now, trial of patience. Go to level in my account and beat it, then wait like 10 seconds. Then the part of the code will be revealed. So now, next up, we need to find the level that looks like this. Once again, I know which one it is, and I will spare you trying to look for it. So next up, this clue led us to a level called Twee by PAHC, which asks you to beat it. But you can actually cheese it by just going in practice and then beating it. As we know, the thing is at the very end of the level. So we just need to get to the end, and yeah, that's all we need to do. There we go. And now that we've done this, well, just wait a little bit, and then the message should appear. There you go. We get a full circle 3. Now it's time to go to the next level. We are back in the hub once again, so now if we go at the top, it doesn't really matter which order you do them. Trial memory. Go to level in my account of this decoration, find a level in the editor, and then beat that level to get a part of the code. So once again, I will spare you trying to look for it, and I will show you right away which one it is. The level in question we had to go find is Save As by him once again. So now, what he said is to go in the editor and look for an ID. So first thing you do is just copy the thing, go in the editor, and then pretty quickly you'll find this number. Pretty simple to understand, it's just an ID straight up to a level. 115279681. Next thing we do is we need to input the ID of the level once again. So 115279681. And then we go play the level. Export. So if we go play it, we'll notice that it's interesting. Oh, hello. Welcome to this maze. Now, as you may notice, my text is going to stay on screen for far longer. Anyways, you're here from Save As, if I'm correct. If you're probably going to assume this is going to be a lecture about how it ruined my life and how I hate it or whatever, truthfully, I don't really care. So, I just wish so that my other levels were recognized more. You know? Like, my other levels are such flops. You know? Even you skipped over them. Oops. And you are basically required to partake in them. I'm going to choose to ignore any responsibility I have in that and just say you have no attention span. And that you're annoying. And that you don't understand my art or whatever. Like, I was leading you through a nice, cozy trip, and you actually made an effort to skip everything. Now, I know I'm not great at talking, frankly I'm getting tired of it already. So, just think about your actions, okay? So, yeah, we're stuck in this maze-like level. And honestly, it's a bit confusing. So it's just like trying to find like rooms that look the same. They have like different variants. And then, yeah, it's a maze. And you might say, well, what do I do? How do I get out of there? Well, the thing is, one of the things the creator said is, he couldn't say that you were really, an impatient person. And that's exactly what you need to do, is to go against what he said and actually be patient. Or you can brute force the maze if you actually don't care. But the intended way is actually to just wait. Once you've waited long enough in the maze, you'll notice that an arrow actually appears. And at this point, just follow it. It will lead you to where you need to go, if you hadn't brute forced it already. And then, there you go. Learn about empty circles. When an empty circle is present in the code, it means something. It means any number in a sequence of 4 is reversed. That means also that any can only come at the start of a code. Any that comes after are red herrings. There's one at the start of this code, by the way. Have fun! So now, we know how empty circles work if they're present in the code, in which we know that there is one at the very start of the code we're trying to look for. By where we are at now, the only point left is this one, which we haven't been to. Where, go to my level with this decryption and get filthy rich. Let's say 15k. Only then the code will be revealed. Have fun! So now, we need to find this level. Once again, I know which one it is. I will show you which one it is. Now, the level in question we had to find was Go You, which is a really interesting level, and you should all beat it, by the way. Where we just play, welcome to the tutorial. Player 1 to move. Player 2 to scroll. Up and down. Whee. Wow. You're such a fast learner. Good luck. Whee. And now we have the level. Whee. And then we just do a few things. Woo. And then we just play the level, I guess. And then there you go. And now, if you do enough tasks, you will eventually open this place where you can get a job. You're working, here's your working options. Add watcher, hold diver, you can be a head hitter, or a public speaker. And now, all we need to do is get a job and then hit 15k, which I will say takes some time. So let's just do it. Let's do head hitter. Head hitter, I believe, is the fastest one. Oh, I went the wrong way by accident. Oops. There you go. And now just jump until you get 15,000, which, like I said, gonna take a while, but you can do it. Alright, by now after about 5 minutes, I guess, it takes some time, you'll get there, and then there you go. We get another part of the code, the final one, 0637. And now, we are rich. Now, the next step is to actually put together the pieces of code we've had together. So, if we take the hints and the way we've been told that there is a half circle with 8150 at the end of it, and then we also know that there's an empty circle at the very beginning of the code. Trying to place the other things in the way that would make sense is an empty circle 0637, full circle 3, half circle 8150. So, I guess that's what we need to input? Well, we need to consider the circles, which means each of them have a different meaning. The half circle only means that, as we've known, that it means it goes at the end of the code and needs to only be inputted once. The full circle means that the code that it affects needs to be repeated X amount of times, well, actually 5 times, plus the number it gives. In this case, 3. So in total, 8 times. And then we have the very first empty circle, which means that any sequence of 4 numbers needs to be reversed if the thing is at the beginning of the code, in which case it is. Which means the code we actually need to input is not 0637 8 times, but rather 73608 times, and not 8150, but rather 0518. So let's put that into actual thing, and then let's input it. So as we said, 73608 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we input 8150 backwards, which is 8150. Wait, no, I'm stupid. It's 0, 8, 1, 5. And then I'm stupid. And then input the code 0, 5, 1, 8. Something happens. An access denied. Please email thisispahc@gmail.com if you think this was a mistake. Now, you might be like, there's no way this is the next step. But it is. That is our next step, is we actually need to email that email. So next up in the ARG, we actually need to send an email to thisispahc@gmail.com. If done correctly, you know this is the right email if it has a Ouija board. Why? I don't know. And then object does not matter, it can be anything. Help please. And then you just send the email. And then after this, well, you just wait. It should not take very long after you've sent the email to realize that, well, you'll get an email back. Like, I just refreshed. There you go. I just refreshed the thing, and there you go. Regarding an access issue on over again anything. Hey, this is PAHC. I'm currently on vacation, but I decided to use this email as a teachable moment. Here's a quick allegory for you. Someone creates a brand new account. Let's say Babelism. They upload a few, let's say 5 short challenge they really enjoy making. And then they upload a full level. They aren't proud of the level. They don't consider it good or even a core level in their catalog. Hell, they may have not even made it. The level gets a few cents, might even get rated. Would people enjoy their other stuff at that point, even if they're happier with it? Or will they forever be known as the person who made that one level? So what do we do with this? Well, the next step actually is, as we've been told, someone named Babelism. Next things next, we need to search up Babelism and then search people. We will find an account with these things, where if you go to their levels, you'll notice they have 6 levels. We have Frozen Illumination, which is an actual level, and then 5 challenges. So next up, what we need to do is actually play and get through all of them. So now if we go and play them, you'll notice that they're not that easy challenges. But luckily, you can just do them in practice mode. At the end of each challenge, you'll find a piece of code. As you saw here, we have 5 being our first code. And then we get a second one, being 0. The next piece of code is empty circle 3. Alright. The next piece of code is 7. And the final piece of code is a half circle, 6110. After this, we go back once again to over again, and this time we input our brand new code, which if we've put correctly is 50 empty circle, 37 half circle, 6110. Now, the empty circle is in the middle of the 5037, which if we've learned earlier in the ARG, if an empty circle is not at the beginning of the code, it is a red herring. Therefore, should be ignored. So now we need to input the code 5037 once, and then we need to input the code 6110. And then what happens next? So, okay. You played all level in Babelism, the algorithm. You didn't even bother engaging with any of mine. I'm actually so upset. Even when I did the trials, you didn't bother. You spammed on one job on Go You. You beat Tween Practice, for sure. You died constantly and Cosmic didn't even play it. Hell, you didn't even beat the maze I beat design properly. You know, since you refuse to engage with any of my levels, how about I don't let you engage with this one? Just to rub it in or something. So, yeah. Bye. And then... nothing? Well, if you wait a little bit, something will show up on screen. To beat the level, restart, and then input this code. Which, this code being 68 empty circle 81, big circle 5, and then empty half circle 1038. So in this case, as we've said before, empty circles that are in the middle have to be ignored. So in this case, the code would be 6881, and then the code, let me type it actually for myself, 6881, so 5, so it would be 10 times, and then 1038. So now, we just restart the level, and input the brand new final code. So, 8, 1, 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we input 1, 0, 3, 8. Now here's the thing, this code is randomized. You will not always get the same code. It will depend. And then, over again. Congratulations! You beat the level. Good job! Now, this was really fun. I really enjoyed the ARG, and I really hope that this guide, it exists, but at the same time, I do hope that you've actually tried to spend the time to figure out the ARG on your own. I do highly recommend it, and that it has helped you in the times you've gotten stuck. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you another time. Bye-bye!